And they were hoping that
So I'm trying to listen to a video here.
Puppy dogs, the
but
weapons,
I've just caught that overhead,
the
along with another RAF plane, after
so-called
posting and talking about that video.
I don't call them mujahideen.
Right?
I call them Israel's puppy dogs. If we give them the go-ahead
Here's
to
the flight
attack
path of it,
during the period after
straight over the location
and before his inauguration, we have a chance to save Ukraine. That is that we must attack Syria in such a way as to provoke
There's a spotter
Russia
plane up there as well.
and Iran to enter the war.
And I can see 2 military planes up there as well flying about.
That was the master plan.
There you go. That's what you get for talking about their paedophile network, right? They start intimidating you.
To save Assad, NATO would enter the war. And that would mean that Ukraine will have a second lease of life. That was the master plan. But Allah blessed Russia with insight. And when Russia realized that this was the master plan, Russia then advised Iran, and both Russia and Iran informed Assad and the Syrian armed forces, we are not going to intervene. And they realized, therefore, there's no sense fighting anymore.
Syria, of course, happened, 2011. By 2013, Hezbollah then enters Syria, and we have successive years of war being fought there. A little bit spills over into Iraq and so on, and we see coming onto the scene are these
after a very harrowing video I posted and talked about,
supported by the Israelis as well as the Turks, playing a significant role there. Turkey, of course, a member of NATO, but also has its own nationalistic interests with the Kurds and so on. You've always maintained that these guys are not freedom fighters. They of course make takfir and they declare people apostates.
Now I'm going to listen to
and
this.
So on, and they do the most vile things at the time since 2011. More than a decade later.
Right.
We see things fall in the way that they did and how quickly Syria
I videoed the dogs on laying in bed, resting my back, and I just had a plate of chicken.
A point of contention about who the current people in power happens to be in Syria at the moment, Julani and so on. Julani, of course, coming from Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, and before
dogs have had extra food today, so they're all happy and content.
As it were. He says they reformed.
And I'm listening to an audio video.
From a terror list that, of course, is being hosted by the United States, and now appear to be setting up this new Syrian modern,
Isn't that a coincidence, though, as soon as I started commenting my own comments about that video, over they came to make the house rumble, to set the dogs off.
Seems to suggest that you're fine with an Assad government,
just to let us know who's there.
Together with his father, had a very negative, let's call it reputation, in the massacres and things.
They're trying to rubbish this man now. Trying to call him a conspiracy theorist, and he's doing Islamic eschatology.
I would be a fool to defend an oppressor. I have always condemned oppression. And if Assad was an oppressor, he must be condemned as an oppressor. Okay? I was not aware of what is now being peddled in the public about the prisons in Syria. But let me tell my critics, that every single government around the world today have that kind of baggage. They're committing oppression around the world.
Yeah, even the UK government and royals are.
All over the world, probably Syria, Saudi Arabia, most of all. But they bark and they bark and they bark about Assad, and they want to accuse me now of being silent when they are silent about all the rest. So what's new? I am not defending an oppressor, not at all. But if Assad was resisting Israel, and they say no, Assad was not resisting Israel because they have nothing in their head but peanuts.
what is it? Trump's going to invade Israel now, mass troop build-ups and everything.
That was the right thing to do. Who have
So
taken over
there's your
from
Greater
Hamas?
Israel project in
Are they
motion,
resisting
just
Israel,
like this man's
or
saying.
did they take Israel's weapons and drones and so on to fight the war? When they were being injured in battle, did they not go to Israel and they were being treated in Israeli hospitals? Did Netanyahu not come to visit them? These Israeli puppy dogs who now control Syria were in hospitals in Israel, and Netanyahu went to visit them in the hospitals. So tell me, was it better to be under Assad resisting Israel, or to be now under the control of Israel's puppy dogs? And Syria is no longer in resistance of Israel. Syria is like Saudi Arabia in a state of servile submission. So don't come at me with all of this nonsense, diverting the subject about Assad's oppression. Because I condemn all oppression. Let's do that and
just thought I'd leave it
discussion and come here.
so you could hear what I'm listening to.
And when we come here,
I'll find it interesting while I'm learning about it.
After Syria is that Iran is resisting
No
Israel,
copyright intended to Sheikh Imran Hussein.
And all the rest.
He knows I'm learning.
Servile submission. This is my analysis from the Quran. The Quran is teaching me, I don't know who is teaching them. The Quran is teaching me that when the Jews and the Christians join together in friendship and alliance...
Well, if you want to learn, you learn from a scholar, don't you? And then you read and check yourself like he tells you to.
NATO. And you join NATO and you become a member state of NATO, the Quran says you're no longer a part of
Clearly
this
says,
ummah.
don't take my word for it. Research it yourself.
Who is not only a member of NATO, but comfortably so, and exploiting Turkish membership in NATO to advance his own agenda. And he pretends to be a leader for the Muslims. Only sheep and cattle.
My back feels much better today, so
I reject them.
I don't need to keep taking Nefapam.
Fighting,
I managed to get away with one and just going to sleep and resting my back up, and it seems to have sorted the problem out. But it was an old car crash flare-up. I backed an old car that I used to run about when I was a naughty boy. I backed it onto a curb, and then it sort of hooked itself up onto a short wall on the tow bar of it. And because I was like going too fast in my head, if you see what I mean, at the time, I thought, just fucking lift it off of there. So I went to lift it off of there, and it's like fucking ripped my back muscle. Felt like it winded me, and I got exactly the same feeling yesterday when I was moving the dog bin. I'll show you, because I haven't managed to empty it yet. Excuse me.
Because there was a whole host of other countries that I can mention.
The bucket's in the top of the barrel, on top of the pup, so that shows you how much dog pup went in the barrel. I haven't managed to empty it though. So, there you go. Telling the truth about that as well.
And fight what is the common evil here. And so I want to understand.
Other than that, it's been a good day.
Leadership that we have.
I took the scooter out this morning.
Nonetheless, the leadership that is
let's pause this for a minute. We'll call it reacting to a video, innit? The video that I shared earlier and commented on. Very harrowing to listen to, but it was put on my Facebook profile for educational purposes, because it's time my children knew the truth about what happened in their child access case, which was dealt with by Harriet Harman's sister, who got access to all the kids' information and my own information, They had a report made up about me. Why do I act like that, and why am I like that? It said money was one thing that I stress and worry about. Yeah, that's why I was into selling things as a salesman on the wrong side of the law, if you see what I mean, and working at the same time while claiming. Because it was never enough, because I was carrying a problem from the first relationship where I had to leave a child behind there, and, you know, it just didn't work. So since then I've sort of just been focusing on getting myself right before I step back into that way of life again. And I'm there. I'm ready to do that, but unfortunately there's a lot of fucking dodgy women out there, so it's like stepping through a fucking minefield, mate. I don't know if I want to be quite honest with you, unless I actually know the person and I've known them for a while. I don't just sort of look at something and think, God, that's fit, I'd love a go on that, you know what I mean? Because looks are deceiving, and in this day and age it's all about money, and they just tolerate a bloke until they've got a ring on their finger, and then if they find out you've got a few quid or whatever, then they'll take you for everything you've got, and if you've had a child with them, then they'll take the child and the property and everything else, and you're then fucked. You know, I'm at a point in life where I'm thinking, well, I can't afford to do all that again. Why the fuck should I bother? I'm quite happy being on my own. I don't need one. I got the love of me dogs, love of me kids, so why do I need it? I don't need to complicate issues. I'm not like a woman, am I, where I've got to settle down, you know what I mean? I'm not on a clock. Well, my kit still works, so to speak. The well ain't dried up, has it? You know what I mean? So, yeah. I'm enjoying the love of my dogs. After catching the military trying to intimidate overhead, because they've been monitoring all the comms. Right, and they're now using the military to go after the cartel members, aren't they? So they're monitoring, tracking communications, media management arms swung into operation. Yeah, there's nothing wrong going on. It's just training. Yeah, and then you'll see a drone flying about and you'll think, oh, okay, who's flying that fucking thing? Yeah, just having a look in the garden and shit, and flying over your head while you're in a park or something with your family, and you think, what the fuck? Yeah, well, they've all got back. If they're being sold on the UK market, the only reason they're being sold on the UK market is the same as this smartphone, mate. It's got a government backdoor into it. So, you know, if you blurt after having your family threatened, mate, you're going to come a cropper. Yeah, so I'll keep myself to myself. What I've said about them threatening to sell one of the family members into their paedophile network is true. And the solicitors that was involved right at the beginning of it was Harman and Harman. And they lost 3 times in court. Right. After that, my ex tried using my solicitors against me. Right? Because I moved to a different area. I rang the solicitors up and said, she can't do that, can she? I said, isn't that a conflict of interest? She's now got all the information what we beat her last solicitors on to come at me again. Just because I've moved to a different area. And she said, yeah, well, actually, that's right. So, no, I can't be taking her on as a client. I said, thank you very much. Yeah, she's back doing the same thing again with her fucking new husband. And, yeah, well, that's what's going on. So, and then the boys came up here. After social services social services involvement. So there you go, Harmon and Harmon first, then social services, then fucking nah, we're not having that. And again, they're threatening family. So I start talking about it today. Up goes the military overhead, right? Which was the point of this video. So I'm switched to something positive because I've switched into learning mode because I've had to. I couldn't watch the whole video this morning. I had to go and get dog food before the weather changed, which I'll show you. Because I was going by the impression I only had a few hours clear weather before the weather changed. So let's just flick onto the weather so I can show you the weather map. Which is what I was going by. So I went out early this morning to get the dog food, came back. Only one territorial P from one of the boys and one of the girls, which would have been the two dominant ones. That would have been Marnie and Willow, because Hulkster was safely in the crate. So I didn't come back to Rivers of Piss and Shit because I'd only just been out there. So someone had been at the door and I hadn't seen Royal Mail. So has my mail been intercepted again? Do you see why I wanted to get out and about as soon as possible? Because those little ones that was coming across there had rain in them and snow in them, but they've gone since then. They're the ones down there now. So they went straight through. But the weather's starting to close in now. You've got two systems, one from the south, which is hot air, one coming down from the north there. That's going to be cold air. So them two are going to collide. Let's just check on that. Because that's going to get another rotation and then we're going to have shit weather. So I won't be able to use the scooter anyway. Which is why I picked my moment today. Left it until the dog food run out. And then I thought, well, hopefully I'll have a hole in the clouds to go and do that with. Right, so this isn't going to be a long-winded video. Right, so all that system there is coming up from the hot area again, isn't it? Yeah. So it's coming up from Africa region, off the African coast where all them arrays are on these islands here and that. It's on one of them. Let's put the rain indicator on and we'll see what's actually happening. Crimea and the war zone looks pretty clear at the moment. But Trump's going to go for Israel. What I just saw. There you go, there's that radar signature again. Clear as a bell, look. It's constantly beaming into that area. Constantly, every time I look at it, it's on. I even saw one going out that way earlier as well from Portugal. When I looked first thing. So they're still at it. Put the lightning indicator on, see where they're energising. Right. So they're energising the storm offshore. Oh, look, got one right down there. In the Duchy of Cornwall. Ironically. No, I wonder who's down that way that's military connected. Oh yeah, it's them lot again, isn't it? Swabs mates. There you go. There's the stuff going across. That'd be just natural weather, I should think, in the desert. You see what I mean? You can see what's natural and what ain't. And yes, they do have shipborne radars that can do all that sort of shit. The Americans. Well, Five Eyes. Right, now they've got Ice Cat as well, haven't they? Right. Which is why I don't use lots and lots of heating at the moment. Because it's a trap. You don't have to have your heating on if you don't need it for your own health, do you? Try that mango chutney's repeating a little bit, but it was very nice. So that's the last of the peach tea. I might have a nap this afternoon, I might not. See what happens. I've only had 2 scoops of coffee today, so I'm trying to cut my coffee down so I can let it burn out my system. I drink it black, no sweeteners at the moment because I'm out of them. But I had enough to get a sack of dog food and a loaf of bread, so all good. Got a nice big block of cheese for cheese on toast snacks and that while I'm vaping. I haven't even wanted a cigarette, if you see what I mean. So being left alone with minimal stress, apart from when it's coming from outside the house. Because people are throwing names at the children over an incident with a woman. You know, normal child access sort of shit. And a family breakup there, and someone's trying to claim it's something else. It ain't. So I said, okay, I'll fucking, if I see the guy, I'll give him a fucking dig. So I'm staying at home. If I bump into him and there's no cameras about, he'll get a dig, won't he? Yeah, simple as that. There's no cameras, no witnesses, he'll get a dig if I spot him. If I went looking for him, then obviously I wouldn't have my mobile phone on me or anything, would I? Because I wouldn't want to be tracked. Do you know what I mean? So if I'm just going out of my way, going about doing my normal thing, or I'm not even going over to see my grandchild today. It's his birthday. I miss him like crazy, but, you know, with these people over here, I can't really have him over here acting up. You know what I mean? And his dad acting up as well with that head injury. It's just, you know what I mean? And as soon as that happened, then the neighbours have started with their fucking stupidness again. Because now they think they've got more ammo to throw at me than they fucking haven't. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just enjoying it, fronting them all out now. Fuck them. Wait until that new virus gets them with their COVID damage. You know what I mean? Go and roll your sleeves up like good little government junkies. They're killing you off so they can get to your kids. Same as they tried with mine. And the only reason they had that court case at Peterborough, they did try to move it to Huntingdon. I said, if it goes to Huntingdon, there's going to be a problem. And the solicitor said, what do you mean a problem? I said, well, they threatened to sue a family member, so if I go there, I'm going down there. I'm not coming out of that building alive. I'm going there to wipe them all out. Fucking paedophiles. Threatened to sell one of my family members into their network. You know, I don't think so. Told my dad about it and he said, nah, the judge shouldn't have said something like that. You know what I mean? But there you go, these are the real things in life. When people are talking about it and proving it and speaking out loud about it and they fly over your head trying to fucking intimidate you, to shut up or you're going to get fucking... You know what I mean? It's just mind games. They're playing mind games with you because you're exposing it and bringing it into the light. Do you see what I mean? So, yeah. Take care if you're on that exposing path because, like I said, this is what they're doing here and I've just been commenting on the video because it was such a harrowing thing to hear and to try and share it with other people. Yeah. And then add your own bit to it. And it's like, wow. There they are. Right. Not using no special software. I'm just using a public thingy just to prove they're up there. Flew directly over the property with a spotter plane up there as well. Caught both of them before they could disappear. RAF, which is all Five Eyes, isn't it? So if there's an international side to that paedophile network, which there more than likely is, you know, with what's gone on with Epstein, who didn't hang himself, and you know, all the diddiness over the other side of the pond. It's all connected. So, yeah, there you go. Taboo subject to talk about, isn't it? And they tried to intimidate you to shut you up. But if you know that that's why they're there, then when you point it out, you just, well, okay, you're showing us. There you go. Why else would they do it at that time? Could have done it any other day, but they had to do it today at that time. Well, he's not in his front room. He's in his bed, so he could be asleep. Fly over his house with a fucking big helicopter to wake him up. All right? Can you see him? No, I can't see him. He must be laying down in bed. Right, because got one at the back watching, haven't I? Do you know what I mean? Oh, I remembered something as well that she told me. Now, I've worked out now why she's been doing all the instigating. She must have remembered what she told me about her grandchild. Right. Not going to say it on here, but yeah, if anyone asks, I'll say, yeah, this is what she told me. So she gossips about her own family as well. Came out of her own mouth. Oh, my grandson's been accused of... Has he? Well, that's his problem, isn't it? Don't bring that on me. I don't want to know. All the best to him. You know what I mean? Oh, it's all lies, though. Okay, well, why are you telling me then? Why are you fucking gossiping about it for? That man's private fucking business, isn't it? The fuck are you? What sort of a grandmother are you? Yeah, there you go. And then she set two men against each other because I wouldn't side with her. Right? And then set the police on me afterwards saying there was another neighbourhood dispute. Nah, fuck off. Just all of you, stay the fuck away from me. Don't want to know you. I tried to get my fucking grandchildren fucking... You know, tried to get me into that family court after the judge had warned me to my face that he was going to sell a family member if he hears this family name in this court again. Is that right, John Major? And you fucking dirty paedophiles. What, was you going to put them on that paedophile catalogue, was you? You know what I mean? Because that's a real document. The Dutch police did find that. I've actually researched that. It's to do with that Marc Dutroux case in Belgium and that. Goes back as far as that. So, yeah, there's some sick fuckers out there. So, watch what you're doing around your kids, innit? Don't give them an angle to come in and take your kids. If you're fucking about with party stuff or whatever, you only need one person to die. And then you're looking at serious time and they just swoop in and take the kids off you. You're never going to be able to defend them from inside there on a long stretch. So that's what you're opening your family members up to. So, nah, I wouldn't even take the risk. I've never gone back into that game again. Right? So, there you go. That's why I'm allowed to have my personal, because I stop my activities. Yeah. So there is an active document in Kent probation that says I'm allowed to have, own and possess my own personal. The police know it. I'm antisocial because they can't make any money out of it. I won't drop names. I was offered money by the probation for names and nah, I don't want none of your fucking money. Nah. Not after what your system tried to do to my family, no. They had me feeling like I wanted to jump off a fucking building, you know what I mean? I knew what they was trying to do. I knew they was going to send me to prison at the end of it anyway, so they sort of dragged it out. Popped me knee, trying to teach my grandson to ride a bike. I'm a liar. Really? I've already been to a fucking hospital, had it all checked out. They found problems in my knee. My knee's now fucked. It's on its way out. Still from the same injury. So it's all been proved correct and true. So I was corruptly put in prison for a breach of probation when I couldn't actually stand on the fucking leg. It's all logged on my Facebook and YouTube from fucking that time period. If people want to go back and check, I was staying in that bedroom at the time, and it was driving me fucking bonkers being hyperactive and having to stay on my bed for fucking nearly 8 weeks. It was driving me fucking mad. And I was getting harassed. You've got to prove it. Okay, well, I've been to the doctors. Here's the fucking letter from the fucking hospital. I don't believe you. You're walking fine now. Am I? It's all strapped up. Now I can actually fucking walk on it. I've come down here. You could have done the probation over the phone, but you chose to be an arsehole about it. Wouldn't even let me take my painkillers while I was in pain in there, so I swore at him. You know what I mean? He was denying me, taking painkillers when I was in pain, trying to get a reaction out of me, and when I bit and swore at him, he told me to get out of the office. Yeah? And I was accused of being hostile, so he lied again in front of the judge and had me fucking jailed. day before my first son's birthday, so I couldn't sort his birthday out. There you go. But I've been making videos up until that point, yeah, which are still there on Facebook and YouTube, saying, you know, fucking sick of this corrupt city. Fucking sick of it. Make me go all the way down to probation and then fucking, you're slightly late. Yeah, I'm carrying a fucking serious injury. It's taking me longer to get there. I'm trying my best. The buses only run at certain times. If I miss one bus, I've got to get the next one. There you go. So I'm getting past my trauma, and I'm still fucking exposing it. In the end, I'll be compensated for it if things work out right, but that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it to prove I was telling the truth all along. I see the auditors are now picking on Falkwood Police Station and getting results out of Falkwood. It was that guy, that was the laughing auditor, wasn't it? He came up to have a look at Peterborough Police Station, got surrounded and had a taser pointed in his face. Right? He said, "Oh, I'm going to sue you lot." And then he came back up to get his property, New Year's Eve, recorded again in there. And the guy they asked to wait outside had had his phone illegally taken from him. They'd held it for 3 months. And my first reaction was just say, you know, out loud, "Burn your fucking phone, mate. I wouldn't even keep it." That's what I did with my iPhone after I got out of prison, mate. Kept hold of it for a while. Everyone that, you know, I had that and a burner phone on me. I called my son, told him where the kids' Christmas money was, so he could come and get it, because I just knew. So I left it at home on purpose and kept the rest of me pit money in my wallet, and that's what I was surviving on in prison, on my canteen. And still come out of prison with money. You know what I mean? So, there you go. And yes, there was some wrong uns on the wing. If I'd have gone in there with everybody else's attitude of, oh, fucking do them on sight or whatever, it's like I wouldn't have got out, would I? Because I would have got carried away with it and fucking just gone on a fucking spree or something with them. You know, it'd take all the anger out on them, innit? But instead, I just kept myself to myself, fucking kept my head down, fucking bought a bit of knowledge here and there with some canteen bits and bobs, shared a few items out with, you know, people that was doing the right thing around me, you know, keeping the bullies in check and all that sort of shit, doing it the old school way, and made it home safe to me kids and grandkids who'd started going off the rails. Right? I did say when I was in prison, I had no way of knowing. I said, I've got to get out of here soon because my kids are going to start fucking acting up. And sure enough, they was. So there you go. All right, 39-minute video, so that's getting rounded up to a 40-minute video. And it's still ongoing at the moment. We're just trying to sort it all out properly now and get it all calmed down properly. No, there's not a flashing light over there, that's the fan. I'm just wasting half a minute just babbling now. But as you can see, all the dogs are cool. I'm going to go back to watching that video. It's nearly done. I'll rewind it a little bit just so I can catch up. There you go. 39-minute video. No, 40-minute video, because I'm squinting. Take care. Have a lovely Thursday. Hope your week goes well, and love those around you. And be prosperous, if you can be.